Hey there everyone, it's Joe from Bullion Now, bullionnow.com.au, selling you the best bullion bars and coins shipped to you worldwide from Melbourne in Australia. This is your weekly precious metals technical analysis where we take a look at the big four: gold, silver, platinum and palladium, of course. Head over to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Bullion Now, where we have now over 2,000 subscribers. That's just happened recently because of this video right here, another epic unboxing of buried silver coins. Watch the video and it links to the video that's sort of linked to that video. It will explain it, but what's had gone in our sort of little community here, as you can see, 11,000 views, when we kind of get usually around your 1,000 or less depending. But that one's a little bit of a mini viral one for us, as has been a couple of other videos that we've done in the last few months. But of course, hit the big red subscribe button to join the family, because we are the winning team and you get a big warm and fuzzy feeling. Okay, going to show you this little market right here. This is actually what we use when customers, come into the store to sell back, or they're coming to buy, etc. We base mainly our spot prices on the kitco.com/market price. So I just wanted to show you this, and I might show you this at the start of every analysis, just to show you what the price is, the ask price and the bid price in US dollars and Australian dollars, just really quickly. So the market is now closed, and what a week it has been. Whew, check this out. $1,644 is the ask price for gold per ounce in US dollars, $18.54 it closed at. The ask price, platinum $978, and palladium, holy moly, $2,764. And that's actually a little bit of a drop off from where it went up to. And let's quickly have a look on the Australian dollar chart, because we are in Australia. We're based in Australia. We have a lot of Australian subscribers. Whew, look at that, man. $2,480.39, just under $28 per ounce in Australian dollars, $14.75.50 for platinum, and $4,170 for platinum. Actually, also just really take a quick look at rhodium as well. We've had a few people call up recently asking, hey, I've got a couple of ounces of rhodium to sell. So we weren't able to facilitate that, unfortunately, but we did send them to the right people who could actually do it, some friends of ours. So they luckily, these people bought their rhodium at, like kind of $1,800, $2,000 level, and they've made a sweet, sweet profit on that. So that's where we are. That's the kitco.com/market. I would suggest you go to that, kitco.com, kitco.com/market, and you look for the market that is, if the markets are open, you look for the market that is open. It's either going to be the New York spot price chart or the world spot price chart. And when the markets are closed, obviously you see it as the market is closed, and then you can change all to different denominations, currencies, and ounces, grams, kilos, all that stuff. It's a really, really good little page to have bookmarked on your website, on your computer, I should say. All right, let's get straight into it. We are looking at this in US dollars. 1643. So you can see it's a little bit different depending on, where are we right here? US dollars, 1644, 1643. That's the bid price, but just kind of an aggregate right there, 1643, close enough for jazz. And look at this beautiful chart. We are absolutely on our way with, again, as I said last week, with possibly a couple of little dips here and there, but we're heading very, very steadily to at least to $1,800 now. That's where we're going to. I think we're going to definitely break through this sort of 1690 level. We might reach it, have a little bit of a retracement, but we are going to very quickly break through it, and we are going to definitely, in my opinion, head up to the $1,800 level. Let's see what happens when we get there. But you can see that's just beautiful. Look at that, all the way down to $1,050 roughly in US dollar terms, and then just this big bowl-like shape all the way back up again. Once we hit $1,800 US, I expect a bit of a retracement, possibly even back down to the $1,700 mark, and then I think we'll be making a play eventually for the all-time high. Once it reaches the all-time high, well, let's see what happens from there. We won't prognosticate too much after that, but maybe I'll do a longer sort of macro view video on where I see gold heading in, the next year or 2 years. But definitely heading up that way. Now, what precipitated this? Let's look on the daily chart. Let's go back a few days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're in this kind of pattern here. Now, actually, what really precipitated it was Apple. Apple actually came out, Apple and the coronavirus, really. So it's all based around the coronavirus, mainly, I think. And then all the speculators jumped in. So Apple came out and said, looks like with the coronavirus, we're going to see some supply issues with iPhones and iPads and everything that we're getting made in China. It doesn't look like we're going to match our production levels that we thought we were going to. And then everyone panicked and went, Apple's going to, bad things are happening. And so in bad times, people flood to gold, and then the speculators see people panicking, and then they go, I can make a sweet little profit off of this, and then they start buying. So that's what bids up the price. So that, in my opinion, was the catalyst for this price rise recently in the last few days, that coronavirus and Apple. And I think that's, with the coronavirus in particular, I think that's going to be a running theme for a while now. I would really suggest you do your research on coronavirus. What I would actually suggest you do is I would type in, I would go corona, what would I do? Coronavirus, Chris Martenson, right there. It's not Masterson, it's actually Martenson. But if you go like that, it'll probably come up. Yeah, this guy right here, Chris Martenson, from Peak Prosperity. He actually does a very good video series on the general economy and how you may consider, buying some gold and some other things to prepare for, a potential global economic collapse later on down the track. But he's doing a recent series on coronavirus because his background is actually in infectious diseases, as far as I'm aware. That's what I heard. So he does this daily one, and you really want to check this out. I think you need to start, in my opinion, and this is not company policy, I'm not speaking on behalf of Bullion Now right now, but I think you need to just check it out a little bit more if you haven't. If you're not thinking it's such a big deal, I would just re-look at it. And I think that's one of the big reasons why we're seeing gold go through its little spike that it's having at the moment, and I think it's going to continue. So anyway, that was a bit of a side one. So that's what's happened that's what I think has precipitated this rise, and it's only going to continue. So I'm very bullish in the next coming weeks and months. Again, I think we might hit, say, anywhere between 1,700 to 1,800 and have a little bit of a dip, and then we're going to definitely rise up to that all-time high coming very soon. In my non-financial advice opinion. I'm not going to talk about really any lower prices from lower than about here. Let's maybe go into the 4 hour. Yeah, okay, so you've seen here we've had a top out at 1650, and we've seen a little bit of a dip. So look, in the next, when we open again, when the market opens, I could see a potential quick dip back down, maybe anywhere down to, probably, in my opinion, no less than, or no more than, I should say, around about $1,630. That's, where is it? Coming down to the 18 average of highs on the 4 hour time frame. That's my opinion. So if we do see a bit of a dip from here, because we've had a bit of a rise, 1630 is my personal opinion. Again, not financial advice, and don't do anything I would do, but that's where I would see it bottoming out at personally, and then continuing, higher from there. So that's my opinion on gold. If we take a look on gold in Australian dollars, again, it really does depend on what the Australian dollar is doing against the US dollar. And I'll just give you a quick look at that. AUD, USD. As you can see, the Australian dollar has been weakening against the US dollar. And as the Australian dollar weakens and weakens against the US dollar, the price of gold in Australian dollars and everything else in Australian dollars investments go higher. So gold is going up a little bit more percentage-wise in Australian dollars that it is in US dollars, because again we're having a dip, a weakening of the Australian dollar against the US dollar. I hope that makes sense. But AUD in US, AUD, XAU, AUD, there we go. This is the gold chart in AUD, in Australian dollars. Bearing in mind, everyone who's been watching our videos, all of our website prices are priced in Australian dollars. I cannot stress that enough. We've had a number of comments, as we tend to get, particularly when a video goes viral, or mini viral like this one. We get a lot of people jumping on who are, they're going to be from the United States mainly, and they come and they click on the link and they see the cost of the silver coin is like, $32, and they're like, what's this? Things are $32. That's $11, $12 over spot. You guys are an absolute ripoff. And then we have to politely, and sometimes not so politely when they're really not getting it, when they come back with comments like, yeah, it's a rip-off. It's like, you're not understanding. Everything on our website is priced in Australian dollars. Okay, so you've got the Australian dollar spot price, right? So you've got the US spot price, right? And then that's $18.55. Now in Australian dollars, that equates to around about $28 currently. And then we add, our small margin. And I think for that particular coin that we were selling, it was $4 Australian over spot for this particular coin. That works out to about $2.66 USD, and so it's really not $11 and $12 over spot. It's much less, like $2.60 something US over spot. So it's Australian dollars, people. So I am really rambling, but I really need to get that one out there. So that is gold in Australian dollars. As I said, we're up to a max of $2,480. How good is that? So, look. It's really, as I keep saying, it's hard for me to do technical analysis based on the Australian dollar price, because it all depends on what the Australian dollar is doing against the US dollar. Okay, but that's just where we are. We've seen that breakthrough from 23.30. That was the previous all-time high. Now we're at 24.80. As I said, I only see that going higher in the next few months, because the US dollar price of gold is going higher. In my opinion. So that is gold in Australian dollars. We're going to move, I think, let's go to silver in US dollars now. Here is silver. It has not had as large of a rise as gold has, and it hasn't broken out of its previous high here of $19.65 roughly. That is coming very soon. Where gold goes, silver does tend to follow. And of course, we know a lot about the gold to silver ratio, where it is quite at a high ratio at the moment, around about sort of 1 to 88, 1 to 90. And traditionally, it's a little bit lower, 1 to 50, 1 to 60, 1 to 40, etc. It's kind of your more average price. So silver is a great play, in my opinion. Silver is going to see higher prices from here. I don't think we're now going to see a further dip. I was potentially calling for that, but this has definitely indicated to me, this little price rise here, is that we are soon to break out. We could potentially have a quick little dip back down to, say, $18 maybe in US dollar terms, but I think we're soon to break out. So we need to have a look at the, where are we? The next significant levels. Of course, we're talking about this level right here. As you can see, that's the $21 level, $21.30, and that coincides with this high as well. But have a look at this though. This is the thing. This is the previous high, and this is this other one right here. We go. No, I have to do that and that. The difference for me personally between here of $19.77 and $21.30 isn't enough of a rise once we break through this level here of $19.70. So I do not think we will just break through here. We might come up to here, have a little bit of a consolidation, come break back out. Once we break back out of this, I think this is too small of a jump up to see a retracement from there. So I think we will actually break through $21, roughly $21.20, $21.30 in US dollar terms, and we'll actually come up to a higher point before we see a further bit of a consolidation. Where would that point be, in my opinion? Could we go? I want to have a quick look. If that's a bit too small, the next significant level, I guess, is right here. You can see that. That might be at around about your $22.20 level, and the next one up from that would maybe be your $23 level. So I'm going to put it in right here. Can you see that little level right there at 20? Oh, that seems more likely. I'll put it in there, right there. I think 23 is where, once we break up through this, and we might have a little bit of a retracement back down, but I think 23 is roughly your target, breaking through that $21 level. So it'll sit anywhere between $21 and $21.20 and $23 is where we will have a peak after breaking through this level here of 1977, and then we will have a bit of a retracement from there. So anywhere between that $21.20 to $23 level, I'm going to say somewhere closer to the 23 mark than the $21.20 mark. Hope that all made sense, but we are now, in my opinion, we are heading higher. I am biased to the upside in the next coming couple of months, of course, at least a few months. Let's say 1, 2, 3. I'd say like I was saying last week, in the next 6 months at least, we will be coming up to that $23 level. Again, my opinion, not financial advice. And if we look into the 4-hour, you'll see we've already had a little bit of a dip, and I think it's enough of a dip in the price actually. So we've come back down to this previous level of 1845, 1850, off that peak of that 1865 level. So I think that's enough. We might start heading back up from here, I think, once the market opens. Let's take a look at platinum. Man, this journey this week has been pretty crazy, pretty awesome. Let's see, that is on the 4-hour. Let's take a look on the monthly right here. Thanks for your patience, everyone. Okay, we are currently at 975, and we had a spike up to over $1,000, back over 1,000, up to 1,020. You can see that right here, and since a consolidation back down, but we did not break through this level right here. See that line right there at was it 950? That was based on this little low, this low as well, and this little tiny little point of resistance. So a couple of points of support there, and there, and that's when I drew that in. And you can see here that we've had 2 more levels of support right there. So I think we will be moving higher in platinum as well. I am bullish on platinum also, and I'm going to leave it at that because I think once we break through this level here at 1,050, it's pretty obvious that the next main place we're going to be heading to would be touching up against this downtrend line. It just depends on when it hits. And generally what it tends to do is it might break through, and we might go all the way up to that 1,000, this level here, it's pretty significant, of what's that, 1,190. And then that'll be sort of around about a focal point for a slight retracement or a bit of resistance there. So anywhere between this downtrend line and bumping up against that 1190, 1200 kind of dollar level. So I'm bullish on platinum in the next coming weeks and months. And XPD, look at this baby. Now, my favorite metal at the moment, my very favorite metal, because of the awesome run that it has had. I had been and had predicted that we would climb up to anywhere around this level here of $2,600, and that was based on a Fibonacci level calculated from the old high of 1085 and the old low of 145 roughly, and this was the 2.618 Fibonacci level. Once we broke through this Fibonacci level, and you can see that right there, it was very close to it, then we came up all the way up. Now if I show you on the weekly, what happened is we came really close to it, and it was around about the 2550 level. I thought we were actually done then, because we did see that retracement back down to about 2340, and I actually thought, I've been calling in the last couple of weeks, the last couple of analyses, that we might be heading down further. I thought we would come down, at least down to meet here this trend line, but lo and behold, we have not. We actually sailed through. It actually seems like now that this was making its peak up to here at a high of 2,855 US dollars. I didn't know we'd be going that high. That's pretty amazing. Although when you take a look at it on the monthly time frame, let's get it back here. It's actually, when you look at it, it's quite a small spike in the grand scheme of things. When you have a look, it's quite a small spike above that $2,600 Fibonacci level. So it's not that huge. It's just in a dollar value, it's an extra, a couple of $200 and $250 more. But in a percentage level, it's actually not that big, because now we're dealing with, $1,000 numbers. We're in the 2,000s, close to $3,000. So a $200 move is actually a very small percentage. So I was wrong on that call, and I'll absolutely admit to that. I was wrong. I thought we would top out and see a bit more of a retracement back down, but looks like, well, it doesn't look like we did. We headed up further. Question now is, where are we heading from here? Let's take a look on the 4 hour. So we had a spike up to, and what do I say? Look at this, a spike up to that 2850 level, 2840 something. And what have I said a million times before is, when you tend to break out of a trend line, and let's take a look at this trend line right here through this old high and this old high. Once you tend to break out of a trend line, and we almost did when we got to 2600, but we had that retracement. That's what was telling me I didn't think we were going to go higher. I thought we were going to go lower, but we didn't. We went higher, but once you break out of it, you tend to visit that trend line once again. And you can see that on the 4 hour time frame, and pretty exact almost. Look at that. So 2842 roughly, and we have retraced back down, sort of hovering around, consolidating around that trend line right there. It's been a bit of a level of support. So now the question is, where do I think we are heading from here? Look, we are getting overextended on Palladium. I think I probably need to stay neutral with this one this week, and maybe I'll stay neutral for this week, because I don't know my full fundamentals on Palladium. I've just been really looking at the technicals. If you have a good fundamental analysis of Palladium, and maybe make a video and link it to us in the comment section of this YouTube page, or maybe just give us a comment and tell us your personal fundamental analysis on Palladium. But I'm going to stay neutral for now, because we are quite extended particularly from here. So I could see, again, still a retracement from here if we are moving lower. If this is the peak for the moment, where could I see us moving back down to? Well, I would actually see us moving back down to anywhere down to a low here of around about your $1,850 level. So that's my opinion. I'm going to leave it at that. So we're going to get you to obviously go to youtube.com/Bullion Now, hit the big red subscribe button, and of course head over to bullionnow.com.au for all your best bullion bars and coins shipped to you worldwide from Melbourne in Australia. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something new this week, and we will update you next week with another technical analysis. Take care, and we'll speak to you soon.